everyone. Thank you for being here today. As you can tell, as you saw me like kind of stumbling here, that I don't have the kind of presence that many people need. But I'm gonna try and make that work. I'm also setting a timer for myself so that I don't bore you a lot or for a very long time. So, okay. So my project was for the Digital Humanities course 595, and I did this project last semester. It was like fall, and I use Twine to do it. And Twine is like this very approachable platform, which is the reason why I chose it. It's very web-based as well. And the best part about it, and the reason why I chose it was because it did not require any sort of like coding experience, which I have none of course. And so my project is called Name Place Home, and it's an interactive poetry experience project. For this project, I've taken poems that I was writing for another poetry course, which contributes towards my manuscript. And if I choose to pick those poems for my final thesis. All right, so a little bit about Twine. It's a great source or resource for crafting nonlinear interactive narratives. As you can see, it doesn't require any coding knowledge, like I said before. And but most importantly, it invites readers to become navigators. And I'll show that in a bit. So in this project, for instance, the reader doesn't move through poems in a fixed sequence, which is what I really wanted to work with, because I wanted the readers to kind of explore the thematic connections in my poems in a nonlinear way, and which is why like I picked Twine. And so you as readers or viewers of this project will kind of like get to pick and choose your own path, sometimes like thematically and other times like through imagery or emotional codes. So let's, like here, as you can see, this is clickable, and I'm just gonna, okay. I also used images, and which I thought were really functioning well for me in terms of showing what I wanted to show through my poems. Sorry. And so, yeah. So the first poem that you see here, and this is one of the 9 poems that I have for my project, is it kind of is called Draw Your Favorite Spices and Herbs, and it is about longing and, you know, cultural dislocation, and it talks about cultural grief, memory, and it also is especially about the mother-daughter relationship, which is an important component of the kind of work that I do. So here you can see that there are words that are linked. There's one that's gulmohers, which is a flower, and then there is another one, I'm like my mother. So for instance, if I click on I am like my mother, you can see that it leads me onto another poem, Suffixes Against Us. So Suffixes Against Us is another poem, and here you can also see that there are other words and phrases that are clickable, and that of course lead you to other words in the project. And Suffixes Against Us is kind of like a poem that is based on my experience of coming here to study in the United States, and kind of what the emotional disorientation that I felt after arriving in the States, in what's supposed to be technically like a better country, and still feeling very displaced. So it embodies that, but then it has this sentence, one slender, thick-skinned mother. So there is again that mention of mother, and it of course also in part pays homage to my home back in Pakistan. So again here, if I click on this, it leads me into another poem and so on and so forth. You can always go back and then click another word and leads you to a different poem. So this is what I meant, is like you can explore it according to the thematic connections and really what you feel like you need to click on within that moment. And so in that way, it offers this non-linear way of really exploring the poems. You might also be noticing that the text here is moving. So that was an intentional choice. I went with different transitions that come as part of the Twine platform. And because I wanted the text to really carry the feeling of that dislocation and dizziness, and kind of like that vertigo that you feel when you feel like really displaced. And so you can see that some of the text is like, some of the poem is in a like floating upward motion, and some of the other poems would be kind of like swaying a little bit. I'm choosing another poem that's kind of not in an upward motion. And okay, this is another one. All of them are in an upward motion. I don't know. But yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to do with the movement of the text. Anyhow, so the poem, as you can see, doesn't have like a single entry point, which was basically the whole idea with this project. And as a reader, it links to an interpretive choice and experience. And which is like the beauty of Twine. The structure itself becomes part of the storytelling experience, a sort of like an emotional map without really a fixed center, which was really important to how I wanted to present all of my poems. So just to conclude, name, place, home is like it shows how a tool like Twine can be expanded to do what poetry can do. And it's, again, it's very important to me because I wanted to see how my poems can work if they're scattered or if they're like looping, and how that navigation can be done to kind of mimic how memory works in our mind. And so I just invite the readers through this project to kind of listen to their own patterns and to follow what resonates. Thank you so much.